Lamar Jackson doing his part, albeit not much, but a little bit, to get us to understand exactly what's going on with his failure to engage the Ravens in contract talks. That tweet that you see, I love my Ravens. I don't know who the hell putting that false narrative out there that I'm having thoughts about leaving. Stop trying to read my mind. Well, the problem is you're not giving us any clue as to what you're thinking, so we have to read your mind. And that tweet comes out the day after Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, saying that the situation is, quote, unique as hell, end quote, that Lamar Jackson refuses to engage the Ravens in talks on a second contract, refuses to show up and collect his reward, is waiting for reasons unknown to anyone. And one of the theories is he just wants out. Why would you not engage the team in negotiations on the contract you have earned if you want to stay there for the rest of your career? We're trying to interpret what's happening. So it's a false narrative only because there's a vacuum. And in a vacuum of information, narratives are going to emerge. Some may be accurate, some may not be accurate. But Lamar only has himself to blame. If he's upset that people are saying maybe he wants out of Baltimore, it's because he's acting like somebody who doesn't want to be there.
Agreed. It's again, I mean, I don't even know if it's a narrative that's out there. It's everybody just trying to figure out what's going on because we've never seen anything like this. And Lamar, you're a superstar. I mean, you're one of the best players in football. So when things go down like this, people speculate. It's weird. It's rare. Your own team is saying it's weird. So, yes, when things like that go down and you're not willing to accept $240 million right now, people go, wait, is there something else going on? Is there another play here? Does he really want to be there? That comes with the territory there. I don't understand. And again, I don't even think there's a narrative out there about him. It's just been questions asked about what kind of play he's making. I don't think anybody out there has been like, well, maybe he doesn't like the Ravens. No, definitely not. That's not it. It's just everybody is there another play here? Because it's so odd. And when you're, arguably one of the best players in the game and a guy that's exciting to watch, and we hear the stories about the team can't even get you to engage in conversations about it, of course people are going to speculate. So it's not narrative, it's speculation. And it's because you're a star and a great player, so don't take it like it's, such a negative thing. Like you said, he's got himself to blame here, and we just are all kind of wondering what the hell is going on.
I've been trying to figure out and get some information about what's really going on here. And the only narrative about him leaving Baltimore that I had seen is the suggestion that his refusal to engage is part of a 7-year plan to leave after 5 years of rookie contract, 2 years of franchise tag. I was doing the math yesterday on PFTPM. It's like a $60 million third tag, at least, if it gets to that point. So the Ravens wouldn't do it. He becomes a free agent. He goes wherever he wants, if that's what he's trying to do. But he hasn't shed any light on that. I don't know. Maybe he only wants to get his contract as somebody who walks to the open market and has the Ravens bidding along with everyone else. But again, just let people know. If you don't want folks to speculate and create narratives that may be false, give people an inkling of what it is that you are doing, because what you are doing is indeed, as Steve Bisciotti said, unique as hell. It's unprecedented. When the team is ready, the Brinks truck has been backed up, the back door is swung open, and there are bags of gold bullion sitting on the back of the truck waiting for you to take them. They're just waiting. And you won't go up and say how many bags you want.
Right.
It is astounding to me, especially when we're talking about a quarterback who plays the position with a physicality that no one else currently does, and he's putting himself in a much greater position to get injured than any other quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't get it either, Mike. I don't get it. There was a time where I thought, like, there's logic here, or there's something, but I don't know. There's just too much, evidence out there and conversation of people never being able to get in contact with Lamar Jackson. Never being able to get things done or lined up through Lamar Jackson. So this seems like it's status quo. It's just amazing that we're going, wait, you can't get – they're trying to give you, like you said, the Brinks truck, $250 million, and we still can't get in contact with you. So we're all going to speculate until he gives us a clue of where his mind's at, what he's thinking, what's the approach here as far as his contract situation. It's part of the game, and it's one of those things I don't understand about stars or star players or stars in general anyways. It's like, I want attention, and then they do something that gathers attention, and they're like, well, why are you guys saying this? Why are you giving me attention about this? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Of course we are. You're Lamar Jackson. Yeah. You know that.
Hey, everybody, look at me. What the hell are you looking at? And that was the original J.J. Watt criticism that I had years ago, that they want attention on their own terms. And he has built, whether he intended to or not, a mystery. And people are going to try to solve the mystery. And the best I can discern right now is that he's not going to engage the team at all this year. He's not going to engage them until at the earliest after the coming season, at the earliest. And my fears about why he doesn't have an agent, I think my fears are accurate. Penny wise and pound foolish. Doesn't want to pay a percentage to an agent. So he's going to take 100% of a much smaller pie, or no pie at all, if he gets injured, the kind of injury that dramatically affects his ability to play the way that he plays, instead of taking 97, 98, or 99% of a big-ass pie. And that is the kind of thing that someone needs to sit him down and explain it to him in no uncertain terms. Whoever is advising him, whoever's putting these ideas in his head, and there are players out there who have gravitated away from agents because they just don't want to pay the agent fee. They don't want to. They get a bill. It's not removed from their paycheck.
Right.
If it was removed from their paycheck, this is the tax dynamic. When I used to be an employee of a law firm, I'd get my check, and then the taxes would come out of it, and you just don't think anything of it.
Right.
Then when I had my own place, and I had to pay taxes every quarter.
Right.
You got to every quarter.
Yeah.
April 15, June 15, September 15, January 15. I dread those days, even now, because through PFT, I'm still the owner. I still got to pay quarterly taxes. It sucks. You don't want to pay that money. It's so much easier if you've never had it. And I think that dynamic comes into play with the agent fees. They should just take the agent fees out of the checks, because you've got to write that check every year. So if you're making $40 million and you're paying 3%, $1.2 million, you got to write to your agent every year. That's a hard check to write, folks.
Yeah, it is.
That's a hard check to write. And you're not thinking then, well, I wouldn't have gotten $40 million without this agent. I would have gotten $35 million. So the $5 million would already be gone, but I never would have known it. I never would have had it. I never would have had to pay it. I don't want to pay it. I don't want to pay that $1.2 million. It may be that I've heard that it is that simple.
Yeah.
He just doesn't want to pay the agents.
It goes on in the NFL. I had a few players, I feel like, in every team I was on that had that issue with, I don't know if I really want an agent. Should I just do it myself? Can I find an agent to do it for 1%? And even that, within that, players, into my opinion, and just knowing the business on both sides a little bit and all that, when players do that to an agent too, and it's 1% or what, the agent doesn't work as hard for you either. They don't. I think a lot of teams would tell you in the NFL that agent that does things for 1% or 1.5%, there's little details that get lost in that, from him losing that other 1.5% when they do contracts. There's great benefit, to your point, for the agent. There really is. They know this is what they do. Like we said yesterday, or whatever it was the day before. Lamar, you play quarterback. You're not an agent. The agent, he's an agent. He doesn't play quarterback. There's a reason for that. And that's where I'm always a believer in, let's listen to the people who know what they're talking about and have real knowledge on the situation, handle a situation.
It was always a fascinating story. It was made more intriguing this week with the comments from Bisciotti.
Yeah, right.
And you throw the Deshaun Watson contract on top of it, Bisciotti's comments about that. And yet we said last year, take in the Josh Allen contract and say, give me this. Now take in the Deshaun Watson contract and say, give me this, and see what they say. Do something. But what he's determined to do is have his best season ever and maybe engage the Ravens after that. He's looking at about 32, 33, 34 million under the franchise tag next year, depending upon how high the cap goes, because the tag now is driven primarily by cap growth, not whatever the average of the 5 highest paid quarterbacks was in the prior year. They got away from that 10 years ago. It's a percentage of the cap on a 5-year rolling average, and that percentage gets applied to the new cap. So, if the cap goes up 15, 20%, it goes up 15, 20% over the 29 million that it was this year, and it lands around 34, 35 million. That's still well below market value. That's what's weird about the quarterback franchise tag. It's well below the top of the market. So maybe the Ravens are fine with that. That's the thing. At the end of the day, the Ravens would love to have certainty. At the end of the day, this helps them. They are able to keep Lamar Jackson at a bargain rate. $24 million this year for Lamar Jackson? Hell yes.
Yeah.
$34 million next year for Lamar Jackson?
Right.
Hell yes. It'll be $40 million the year after that, 20% increase over his franchise. Hell yes. That's a bargain compared to what the market currently is, and he continues to carry the risk of injury.
I know.
Not us.
Right.
We're never making that
right.
$200 million guarantee, $250 million guarantee. And maybe by the time that he finally engages us, we say we're never going to because you're damaged goods now.
That's he's got to be worried about. Let alone, listen, he's in the perfect place. We know this. This is a team that went all in on him and devised an offense that fit him and playing a style of football that, is taking a chance, period. You say what you want. It's awesome. I love that John Harbaugh did it, but we've yet to see a team that plays this style of football go to a Super Bowl and win it. We have not seen it. Again, we're seeing limited even playoff wins, this style of football doing this, and that's where, I would think he'd have a little bit like, hey, let me get signed up and be here because they're all in on me and the way I play football, so that's where I'm a little surprised by that too. I am because it's set up for him, and they've set it up for him, and they do everything for him. They speak highly of him, and that's where I just don't understand the whole situation.
I'm going to peel the curtain back just a little bit and tell you about last night, because Peter King had the story of Bruce Arians stepping down, and it debuted on my platform, PFT, and I've been very grateful to have Peter's column on PFT for the past 3 or 4 years. So this was a deviation from the normal Monday morning thing, so there was some communications about what was going on. And when I first caught wind of the fact that Peter had a big story that was posting that night, my first thought was Lamar Jackson's getting traded. That was my first thought. I didn't even think of Arians. I thought, with all this stuff boiling with Lamar Jackson, somebody said F them picks and swooped in and did a trade for Lamar Jackson. That was where my brain immediately went.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Sean Payton to the Dallas Cowboys or something like that. That's what I was. Yeah. I was thinking of that, but I know. This is one of the weirdest situations I've ever seen with a franchise quarterback. It's not one that you feel like's going to really affect their team a whole lot. He doesn't seem concerned enough to where it's going to affect his play on the field. The organization's a little handcuffed with what they can do with the future, but like you said, they're probably still going, well, all right, fine. He wants to get franchised next year. Sure, all right, whatever. There's a lot of positives for them in that aspect too, and they're not paying that big chunk yet. But at some point too, does it affect, does it start to affect? Do they pay big money to somebody here or do something that way and then go, wait, we wanted to give you the new contract this year, but we've kind of gotten to a spot here where now we got to wait till next year. We can't pay you right now. You got to wait till after the season. There's so many factors here that make you scratch your head and question the whole thing.
That gets back to the point from yesterday when Steve Bisciotti suggested that Lamar Jackson wants to win a Super Bowl and then get his reward. He doesn't realize that not getting your contract and not helping with salary cap management makes it harder to win a Super Bowl. But if he is going to go year to year, 24, 34, and 40, that's better for the Ravens over the next 3 years than what they would pay if he had a long-term contract. The cap numbers may be higher, and that's the problem. The cap numbers probably are higher because with these franchise quarterback contracts, you push those dollars into future years. So it's a unprecedented situation.
Was there really a narrative though? That's where I want it. Was there really a narrative? When he said that, I wanted to be like, well, I don't know if there was really a narrative.
Yeah. I know that I saw others suggest that this is a genius move by him because all he has to do is put in his 7 years and then he can leave. And I've said this is either strategic, that he is trying to get out eventually, or it's just horribly misguided. That this is either a plan that he's hoping to execute, or he just doesn't have a plan.
Yeah, we're the only one.
I'd like to think he has a plan.
I know. But you're the only one that's gone down this road of this conversation for the most part.
Maybe he's talking about me. Maybe I'm the one that he wants to shut the hell up.
I know. I feel like when I saw this quote, I want to be like, wait, I didn't really see anybody even bring this up other than Mike Florio. And then, of course, I talked about it with you. But, again, that you weren't setting forth a narrative. You were just trying to piece things together because, like you said a minute ago, it's one of the weirdest, most remarkable situations we've ever seen surrounding a franchise quarterback. There is a team literally sitting there with a box of cash going, please take it. Please, it's hundreds of millions of dollars. And there's a quarterback that's like, what are you calling? Is the phone ringing? Huh? I don't even know. What? Oh, there's money. I don't know. I'm just going to keep playing football. It's crazy.
My guess is that the narrative that he noticed came from doing this on his mentions and seeing people saying, what's going on, Lamar? Do you want out of Baltimore? And with the comments from Bisciotti, I think that probably caused an uptick in people being concerned. Right. Like, Lamar, are you leaving? What's going on here? I would guess that that's how he became aware of this narrative that he says is false, and that's fine. At least we now have some understanding, assuming he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
We have some understanding of what he's doing. We still don't fully understand what he's up to or how it's going to play out.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.